Well, the past wasn't as scary as I thought. I kind of expected more monsters. Well, it was fun at first, and then we passed a caravan full of dead people, and then that thing jumped out of nowhere and tried to drown me.
Right now, I just keep picturing my own family, torn apart by that thing, everyone gone. I'm really sorry for Val, though. He seems strong enough on his own. Just hope he gets through it.
But I got to play um uh, I spy with my little Acrio, and then I spoke to Cillian about things, and I really need to get a journal in the next town and stuff to write. I need to make sure I get everything down before anything can happen and before we fight the demon. I want to make sure I don't forget more. Actually, not Cillian. It's not fair. I haven't given up on maybe trying to find something to remove the curse one day, but I think it might take some time and memories that I don't have anymore.
It's insane how much Asuriel reminds me of Little Maz. Just keeps asking questions until you either have to answer or lie. And I don't want to lie to Asuriel. So I told her some shit. I'm glad that it's out, and I don't think these people would use it against me, but I should talk to the others about it too. Guess it's good to know or whatever.
Oh, and I got a prayer. It kind of just appeared in my pocket. It's really cool. When we fought that monster, killed B, Miss B already, but something really weird happened. It didn't seem scared at all while we were fighting it up until it jumped me and saw me, because I don't think it saw me while I was face down in the river, and it looked scared of me. Why would it be scared of me?
We kicked that thing's ass, by the way. I'm not proud of many things. That's a lie. I mean, fuck the needle's eye pass. I'll go through it every time. I'll kill that thing on my own.
Anyway, I'm not too badly injured, thankfully, but I don't have a lot of magic left. Hopefully I won't need it too much before we reach Braylet.
I should be focusing. I should be focusing on getting to Braylet and dealing with this River X thing, but I can't. I should have been more focused in that fight with whatever that thing was, but I just can't. Lars talked to me again, and he's upset. And it's my fault. I'm the reason he's upset. Because I'm not thinking of him enough, and he's right. Ever since we left Corsica, I haven't really had to think about him. But is the fact that I carved his name into my skin not good enough? Do I need to do more? Amrita thinks that it's Riverax tricking me, and I want that to be true, but I also want it to be true that Lars did actually speak to me again. And I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know who to turn to. Amrita thinks it's not right. It's not him. And Asuriel wouldn't know. Cillian might, but I don't want to talk to him about it. And Acrio, if I talk to him, that'll just make Lars even more upset. I don't know what to do. But hey, at least I have another angelic seal. So, that's something.
Acrio Revito slams his fist onto the table so hard the lantern flame nearly flickers out. This smacks in the face of generations of tradition, expectation, and church law. I won't have it. I won't let you do this, Inquisitor. Acrio's father stands up, brushing his wild blonde hair out of his sweating forehead. Across from him sits an armor-plated man with square jaw, well-trimmed facial hair. Frederick Welgeist remains collected as he listens to Amric's tirade. The eldest child. That's the sacrifice you've always demanded from we Stensians. My boy, Gus, has trained his entire life in the sword for your Cathar ranks, and now you come to collect my second son? Untested greenhorn. I've only just got him into an apprenticeship with the bricklayers. He doesn't even have a season under his belt. Meanwhile, Gus smirks with his arms crossed opposite Acrio at the table. It's more like a silent jeer from the taller, more muscular brother with just like the worst teenage peach fuzz attempt at a mustache. What is Acrio's impression of all of this as he's having to listen to it? Given he would be about 17, having found the forge, everything that had happened, he's ready to leave Stensia.
He's staying silent. He's not daring to interrupt, but more hiding next to Frederick, this stranger who's told him that everything's going to be okay and things are going to be different now and you have a purpose. He's kind of riding that prey that his father won't be what sunders him from being more than a bricklayer.
Acrio would have gone through several different apprenticeships by this point, all of which he kind of, from the perspective of people in town, flunked out on because he just ends up wandering out of town, disappearing for several days at a time, and then whoever he was working with, be it, the Masons or the Rex Giebler, the old blacksmith in town. But Wilgeist finally clears his throat, looking to Acrio on his left. My boy, have you fully explained the significance of your find to your family? And the Inquisitor waves an encouraging hand while Amric looks down at Acrio for the first time during this discussion, the flickering lantern underlighting his face, giving the scowl an almost malicious shadow.
Do I have the hammer on me?
No.
Okay.
Basically, it's your word against what everybody believes.
I'm gonna roll my sanity as if I haven't gotten. Clutching his jacket, hands shaking, not crying, because he wouldn't dare do that in front of his father, because the ridicule that would come would destroy him. His words just come out in like stuttering mumbles of trying to explain himself, but no real coherency comes of it.
Witnessing this and not having any real understanding of what this forge really means, if it even exists, if there's a purpose to all of this, but just seeing you in this state, Amric leans down. Fine. Pack your things. Now! And he storms out of the house, slamming the door behind him so hard you can hear the cracking of glass.
Yeah, and Acrio jumps as the door slams, rushes to get everything he owns.
You don't know where your father wandered off to that night or what he did, but he didn't return before you left for the Elgid grounds, and that was the last time you've seen him. Gus doesn't get up from the table as you're rushing around and coming back with a bag. He kind of leans forward, elbows on the table. I've got a question, Inquisitor. How long is the travel from here to Nephalia? And Frederick answers, well, from Braylet, with fair weather, few distractions, 3 to maybe 4 weeks. Why? The eldest son of the Revito family leans back in his chair, looking over at Acrio, stands up. I give it 2 months before you're crawling back here. And he thumps your shoulder with a fist as he leaves the room, chuckling to himself.
Oh, and Acrio crumbles from that. The hand that was holding his grandfather's axe drops that to grab his shoulder.
Yeah, it's a legitimate dead arm, right in the socket.
Yeah. Watching his brother take off gaze, this dread as he moves towards Frederick.
We will have to stop at the forge, of course. Frederick smiles. The hammer. It is yours, if you can carry it. In the Needle's Eye Pass, as you've seen this creature fly off into the night, it being invisible, but carrying what prey it could gather from your group, Acrio's hand clutches the hammer of the angels. And what are you all doing? Some of you more worse for wear than others.
Yeah, I put my hand on Asuriel's shoulder. I say, I'm sorry about Bay.
She's still going like, bee, and she just watches it being carried away.
I put my hands in front of her eyes. Come on, not worth looking.
Rita almost wants to chase after, but they're so pressed for time and it's probably far away. And she lifts up the bow, but she's like, damn it. And I think for now she will quickly, the flames will fade and she'll grab her headband and wrap it over the third eye and everything. But looks over and everything. Asuriel, you can ride with me. It'll be quicker. I have the horse. The only horse here now. Whether everyone else has mules, it might be better. We're not going to be able to probably go after it.
Unless you
It's the quickest
count the
option.
creepy old man as having a horse.
Yeah, Asuriel's surprised that Amrita's suggesting they stay close together.
I think everyone's surprised.
Yeah, like there's like that reluctance there, but it's like it's the quicker option, logically speaking.
And when I asked, you said no. That seems unfair.
She looks
You're
back
fine.
at the old man with the crow, stares at
You-
the crow.
The
moment.
raven, comes back and lands on his shoulder. He looks, at first there's like a narrow-eyed gaze off into the distance where that thing had come before he squints a bit, taking on his more customary demeanor. What was that?
Looks Amrita. Heard about it before?
Would she have seen something like that before at all or learned it?
It is the only thing you can tell really, without doing a bit more study of the scene and everything, recollection of it, is that it didn't seem natural. The fact that its right arm was obviously extended into fingers and stretched with skin like a bat's wing, while the other part of its shoulder had a wing growing out of it, but also fully formed arm. That's not a normal thing. That's not biological creature by any means.
I would have needed its body to properly study it more. We need to get moving.
Agreed.
Agree.
Is anyone seriously hurt?
No, I'm okay
let me
after the
just
healing.
Pull up my paper character sheet and check.
He's delirious.
Yeah, every time Acrio gets hurt, he writes it down.
Yeah. He takes out like a tape measure and measures the gash in his arm. It's like,
That's 7.
that's a,
Holds it up to like a severity chart where like the longer the gash is, the more severe it is.
yeah.
If another one of those things show up, do we have anything to slow it down, or are we just gonna fight it again?
I mean, I can probably slow it down, but
By all means,
that would
it's as
require
hard
seeing
as
it.
us.
Well, we can make it be seen from time to time. So maybe during that.
I don't think it's coming back.
I
That
don't
one probably
think
not,
so
but
either.
nothing tells me there ain't more. There's always more.
of that?
It didn't
We don't
really
know
look
anything about
right,
it.
did it?
The further away we get from here, the less likely this is to happen again. So we just keep moving and hope and pray.
We're only animals.
Jill's gonna give Petunia a big hug before she gets on with Amrita.
Is she sitting in front of Amrita or behind Amrita?
Oh, it's like, yeah, is it
Amrita would
frontier or
probably just
backing?
have her. I don't think Amrita would trust her to be in the front, so.
I think usually the passenger
Back.
goes in front of you and you just arms
You hold around them,
Yeah.
but do you not want to hug her?
No,
Want a hug.
no.
Asuriel's cargo. She's just laid over the
She's
back
like,
of the
oh my
saddle.
gosh, wow, and yeah, but clearly annoyed because that would have been something good to get after. But anyway, yep, off we go.
Amrita, I will have, you don't necessarily need the body of the creature to kind of analyze what you had witnessed during this fight, though you did experience this heart-pounding dread. Once that's kind of fading and your mind's clearer, you can use one of the abilities from your Hunter's Bane. I don't forget exactly what all lets you roll, but I think it's intelligence-based checks and that sort of thing with advantage.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I assume you're... Well, that's the question. Are you guys trying to track this thing down or saying, fuck that, we're going on the pass the rest of the way?
I think we have Acrio's vote is we come back and we're more prepared to kill it when we come back.
I agree.
Agreed.
Just hope nobody else gets slaughtered before then.
Yeah, well, everybody knows.
Well,
it's
we're heading
dangerous.
somewhere where people are definitely dying. Whereas this is a possibility of people dying.
The Needle's Eye Pass, people, literally everybody says how dangerous it is. So if somebody wants to be suicidal like us,
I'm sure I'll guide you a warning.
on their...
Like Val's family.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Like,
Oh, that's
Yeah, Amrita's
awful.
not saying
Don't
anything. She's too
take
busy
a
trying
vacation.
to. She's too busy trying to calculate and focus on the lessons of whatever her mentor had said, and just think of the different hits that it took and the attacks that they gave it.
Yeah, basically I'm just going to have you roll just a straight intelligence check, but with advantage from the Hunter's Bane. None of the
Okay.
skills really seem directly applicable.
Hey.
It's pretty good.
well, she did survive it.
From what you had witnessed of this thing, you're not sure how it exactly is able to become invisible, like that sheen that goes over it, that it's almost like you should know where it is, but your mind just doesn't process it. It's like a blind spot. Obviously, from what you had seen and what Acrio had attempted, it is possible to end that effect. It becomes visible if it's significantly distracted. You had heard it making these screeching sounds like similar to a bat. There's a chance that it uses a similar ability to what bats do to see in total darkness, even when blind, and have kind of a sense of what's around them, even if they're not directly looking at it. And obviously, weapons such as your standard arrows and non-enchanted attacks seem to have no effect on it whatsoever. You can't be sure what other things might damage it more readily or also have resistance to. You didn't witness enough of it, but you would suspect that there's other things as well.
She'll
Also,
note it
there
for
was
now.
one thing you would also note is that it was immune to any kind of intimidation on your guys' part. Even when Acrio tried to channel angelic magics to it, it was undeterred, and that makes the visage that Asuriel had seen, which I don't even know if she's really mentioned yet.
Not yet, no.
Yeah. So you wouldn't necessarily know this, but it does seem out of place to Asuriel, at least, that it's very perplexing that it would have any kind of reaction to her, being a weak thing that it had almost eviscerated.
She is gonna bring it up to to Amrita on the trip.
Cool.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
Amrita's riding Petunia along, not too far from the others still, but looking back occasionally to make sure they're still back there, but looking around rapidly. She's taking notes, like she looks like she's focused, that Asuriel can see, like she's like analyzing something, but she's not voicing anything for now.
Oh, and you would have noticed that while it bears no similarity to any vampire you've ever seen, even the emaciated and blood-starved vampires, it's far more monstrous than that. It did bite someone, I can't remember who it was, but it had bitten someone and seems to regain vitality from the consumption of blood, similar to a vampire, but clearly not the same thing.
Asuriel will she'll be quiet for a little bit, still pretty tired after that fight, thinking a little bit. And suddenly she goes to Amrita. Amrita, do you think I'm scary?
If you believe you're scary, but you are not exactly opposing figure as to someone say Acrio.
I didn't think I was scary either, until when it when that creature attacked me, it looked scared. I think it might have run away because of me.
Have you encountered such things before? Well, never mind. You have amnesia, so you wouldn't really probably remember if you had.
No, not really. It was weird. It didn't seem to have a problem when it attacked me the first time, but then it attacked me from the front. I don't know.
Well, I can certainly tell you that is not... Well, it acts vampiric in nature. That's not a vampire. As I said, I would have to research it more, but I've managed to come up with a few things. When we are not traveling, I will have to stop and write all of this down.
All right. Weird. Maybe I was just imagining things. Also, you want to play I Spy with My Little Eye?
See if you can find something, I guess. Just, why not?
The voice inside your head is like, let's do this.
I spy.
It's like,
Of course, everything.
yeah. Just like mentally, like, both of her eyes just look out to us like, you shut up.
30 miles away.
Lisa
No,
has a
I-
sense of humor.
I think the best thing is that Asuriel can see 120 feet in the dark, and Rita only 60. But then again, there's only rocks and dead trees around, so...
Yes.
Something beginning with ah. Is it a rock?
Wait, why do you have 120 feet of dark vision?
Because I got a feat that let me get a warlock feature, and I chose Devil's Sight.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not even dark vision. She actually sees crystal clear in the darkness. Like, it's not
Oh.
even grayscale, it's just normal sight.
Devil
I was about to
sight.
say.
Demon.
Sure you do.
Yeah, actually, if they're if they're playing a game of I Spy, would this probably be? I think this would be the first time Amrita would actually take into recognition that for some reason Asuriel seems to be able to see further into the dark, right? I'm sure there's been times before that, but I feel like she'd actually be paying attention this time.
Yeah, you've heard her mention that she can see fine in situations where you can as well, which seems a little odd. But yeah, I'd say you would recognize after a moment that she's seeing things like every so often there's this plant that grows up in the Stensian mountains, spiky yucca style bush that she seems to point out fine, and you even find yourself scanning and barely able to pick it out in the distance.
How can you see that far into the darkness, Asuriel?
Don't you?
Not that quite a long distance. I'm not a regular person, so of course I can, but why can you?
I don't know. It just can. It's just kind of being there. I don't know what else to say about it.
Mentally, Amrita was going to question the eyeball. Be like, do you know of any other creatures that can see that far into the dark? Or humanoids?
Demons are of the night.
Cool. Out of character. Cool. Yeah. I have a different game for now, Asuriel. It's called The Quiet Game. It's very enlightening.
I hate that game.
It's very introspective.
Oh, what do you do?
Can I have someone roll a d12, please?
I would, but I'm comfy over here.
I'll do it.
Have fun.
Yes, do it, please.
How is everyone physically after that altercation? I know there was some healing. So how's everyone looking?
A little winded. Been better.
On a scale of 49 to 0, I'm looking like a 24.
Ooh, bloodied then.
I think it might be. Let me get
Yeah.
up. Oh,
Yes.
That's-
I'm fine. I have no damage, so.
Just barely. Like, he's got some wounds that are
Yeah.
deep enough to still be kind of seeping through the padding underneath his splint
29.
armor. But
20.
yeah, 29?
Okay. Not
I have
In
a
that
bar-
case, yeah.
Okay.
They were, but now they're scabbing over. They feel
They just
okay-ish.
slurped up all that blood.
That's how armor works, yes.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's a curse.
I think just given the last con saves last time, Amrita's definitely really tired, but that's it.
At this
tired
point,
and a little injured.
yeah, everyone would be getting incredibly tired well past 2, 3 a.m. maybe, as the Needle's Eye Pass starts to descend. It's easier now on your animals to push them forward because you're going downhill. It's still this winding path, many more switchbacks, long, narrow pathways. And by the end of this, you all are going to take 1 point of exhaustion. The animals as well, which is going to be perhaps a little more rough on them.
Aw.
Those that survived.
Bee!
Whee!
Bee!
We're gonna make a gravestone
There
for
are
it.
no rules of aviation that a bee shouldn't be able to fly or something like that.
Oh my god, that was pretty good.
Fucking
Thank you.
damn it.
According to all known laws of aviation.
Bro.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the quote.
We all knew what you meant. You got the point across.
Oh no,
sake.
Bee.
But we're pretty much out of it now, right?
Yes and no.
Uh-oh.
The main danger that you had been warned about, you have seemed to have encountered, beaten back. It made off with a slice of your party, but none of the humanoids. Everything else seems quiet enough. There are periods when it's almost too quiet, but then the new moon is when many of the amphibious creatures and bugs start to come out, especially the nocturnal ones. Even in the high mountains, you can still hear crickets chirping occasionally, catch sight of coyotes and that sort of thing. There's that ever-present howl of wolves somewhere in the distance. Everywhere you go in, not just Stinzia, but all of Innistrad, you're likely to find wolves in the wilderness, but none of them seem close enough to threaten you on this pass, too narrow for them to really come at you from any angle. And eventually the clouds start to lighten behind you in the east.
So I was gonna
Cillian
look
is
at
not.
those clouds.
I will have everyone make a perception check. You have exhaustion, so it's disadvantage for everyone except for Amrita. If the eye is out, it will be a straight roll for her.
Okay.
Perception.
Yes, please.
Perceiving. Aw, Asuriel's went just as I rolled, and I thought that was mine. I got excited. I was like, ooh, but no.
Yay! It's like, oh, never
Oh,
mind.
everybody rolled good. Let's see.
I got a 10. Yeah, Lorelei's distracted. She's off in her own brain somewhere. She's thinking.
Well, that makes sense.
About
Yeah.
Lars.
Shut up.
About her boy.
Would Lorelei be taking advantage of this long trudge when everybody else is just focused on the road ahead and her mule kind of just following with them all to make any notes in her journal?
Yes, she'd be writing down. I feel like that recap I gave was probably is what she's writing.
Makes sense. And then she's the only one who really doesn't notice this croaking sound. At first you might think it was Segrus back on Voltan's shoulder, but it seems further away and up on the side of the mountain a bit. Asuriel, excited to find something else to reignite her game of I Spy, looks and you see what at first looks like a large vulture thing. It has some mountain goat or, I don't know, antelope thing carcass that is just tearing apart. Obviously scavenging, it's not a predatorial type situation, but as it moves its head toward you, there's this weird glow in its eyes. Not like the flash you had seen in Segrus in the light, but like they are emanating light themselves and almost trails behind it. I'm trying to think if you guys would know. Everyone can make either a nature or religion check.
Does it have laser eyes?
Does anyone point it out to me, or shall I not roll?
Yeah, you would probably not.
Yeah.
Anyone who would be studying it could make one of these.
That nat 20
nature
went to
check?
waste.
You know what?
Yes.
I wouldn't be.
Nature or
Also-
religion, he said.
Yeah, also with disadvantage as always with exhaustion.
Oh,
Ooh.
sorry.
Ooh.
Let me roll my other nature.
That's right.
Dang it.
Oh,
I'm so sad.
Wow.
nat one.
I could have had it.
Great perception. Fuck your nature.
Yeah,
I'm too focused on trying to ignoring
none of you
Asuriel.
really know what this thing is. With the exception of Cillian, you've actually heard legends of these things. They are a type of vulture referred to as a vrock. They are scavengers, but they are also in some ways imbued with the darker forms of magic, somewhat bordering on the level of being fiendish themselves while they are still a natural beast.
Magic Bard.
And this
look
thing,
out.
yeah, it looks at you, and as you're passing, its glowing eyes just trail after you as its beak goes back in and just starts tearing away at flesh.
Cillian looks it directly in the eye, that being a Vistani superstition.
And it is a bit disconcerting how it seems to recognize that the pair of you are having a moment.
Okay. I just do a...
So
Bro nod at the vulture.
yeah, definitely.
she was
Wow.
like, Amrita, I spy with my little eye something that's eating.
I don't have to see it. I can smell it. Asuriel.
Acrio looking confused as he's like biting jerky. I mean,
It supposedly brings all sort of ill omens. Just ignore it. I'm sure it will ignore us.
Oh,
He says as
lovely.
it distinctly seems to be not ignoring you.
Oh, did it? I thought you said it went back to eating.
It is, while staring at you.
Oh.
We interrupted its meal. We came uninvited, and it's like, what are you doing here?
It's a good ways off, so it's not
Yeah.
like you physically interrupted it or about to
Okay.
collided to it or anything, but
Let's
Yeah.
just keep moving, be quiet, and let whatever that thing is keep eating.
gives one more kind of vulturous croak.
Yeah, we're trying to sneak past. Or well, not sneak, because...
Yeah, it already sees us, so that'd be silly.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Just keep
Galloping more
Sure,
like
it's
it.
fine.
Gallop, gallop, gallop.
We're going in circles. No, just keep swimming.
As the path begins to widen, you're offered a better view of the approaching valley, where more of the townships on this side, the western side of Stinzy, are located. There, at your elevation, you can see a large flat land further off to the west, which is a bog, part of the Farbog, but this one is known as the North Farbog, disconnected by the mountain range where the Ashmouth sits from the bog just north of Korsava. But the road weaves past that in the distance, still kind of foggy and hazy, laying over this fertile farmland, which you can see is some areas have been tilled, but you know you're still far enough away from any human established township that people shouldn't be venturing this far. Oddly, the landscape offers a structure. There's this dilapidated and partially constructed old stone church, it looks like. What might have been walls that were beginning to be built at one time, or perhaps utterly destroyed. It's hard to know if this was a town that was demolished or tried to start and didn't have the vitality to continue before the inhabitants were wiped out. Whatever it was, you don't remember the name of whatever this was.
Acrio traveled this far?
Probably not. He would not have traveled this far because he would know at the base of the Needle's Eye Pass at this side, you are in the territory of the Voldaran estate.
As we're outside of earshot, as we're away from the bird, I just sort of say, I think something or someone knows we're here now.
Is that something's minion?
I think it's more than possible. And since we
It's a
have some
rat.
history with this particular family, I think we're going into something that we might not want to go into.
Or are we coming around the bend now?
Depends on how long after sunrise you guys continue to push these animals. I'm not sure about mules, but I know horses are one of the few animals that don't really suffer fatigue. Their stamina is just to the point that they keep going at the same pace until they die. You can just run a horse until it's dead because it doesn't really suffer the effects of fatigue. I would suspect a donkey-horse hybrid would have a similar effect. That could be totally scientifically inaccurate, but I'm going to say that's the way it is. So you don't know how long your animals can keep going and survive this. So it's up to you if you want to push on or if you want to do what you need to do.
What about we push on to the good spot? Some cover.
I think we're taking a gamble at this point.
I think anywhere we're staying, we're taking a gamble.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Cillian would know as a Vistani, that's the existence living outside of established walls. There is no such thing as safety. You make safety where you can.
I could consult some people. They usually point me in the right direction.
Right, the geists. That took me a
It's-
second.
It's mostly how Vistani do it. Communicate with things that are here or are not supposed to be here. Try and
Look for the
ask
Dark
for some
Souls
things.
bloodstains. we don't want to end up having our animals die out here, because then we'll never get to Braylett on time. And then coming here is pointless.
I think we rest at afternoon as best we can. We
Right.
need the rest, so we sleep afternoon into next morning, maybe even
Is-
midnight.
Is there geist activity here, Jake?
Make an Arcana check
He can do the blood
with disadvantage, obviously.
Can I
You
use
literally touched the
guidance?
bloodstains.
Sure. How would that look for Asuriel, given that would she hop down off of Petunia?
Yeah, because Amrita's probably not stopping and not wanting to slow down to go back near Cillian at all. So,
Right.
Ugh.
Shit.
yeah.
Tristan, you cast guidance.
I cast guidance.
All right. Yeah, with a 20, there's a strange geist presence here at the western side of the Needle's Eye Pass and near the Farbog. They're very dim and very non-humanoid would be the best way to describe it. Geists, after so long, lose their humanity without any kind of tether. You see a lot of almost like will-o-wisp lights. You detect presences that are more like a cloaked shape. Some of them carrying lanterns, searching for any reason they still exist. Part of that is you would know there was not just the Voldaran, but also the Mauer vampire line, one that was eviscerated. That line was destroyed a long time ago, but that much vampiric activity, you think most of these geists were likely victims through however many hundreds of years.
Then I don't really try to communicate, because I know with these kind of spirits that usually doesn't pan out that well. So I'll try to let them pick a card and let that influence my decisions on path making here.
Okay. You're letting the geist pick a card, or you're going to draw one and see what?
No, I'm letting the guys pick a card.
Okay. Interesting. Give me 3d54.
Oh no! I pulled the broken one again.
Imagine being dead for 200 years and then some fuckwit asks you to play cards.
Yeah, so of those were going to be the choices for what the geist might draw. You have this deck that you lay out as one would, like a fan, to anything that might be around. You feel this shudder, and it's like a jolt, and without even really witnessing it, you look at the cards and one of them has flipped itself in the hand, still held within your hand of cards, but one is just facing toward you now.
So cool.
It's the Two of Swords, the Paladin, representing just noble warriors, those who live by a code of honor and integrity.
I think we're okay to stop as long as we're vigilant. We won't be protected. We'll be left to our own devices, but that's happened before. We can handle anything.
And it represents those who live by a code, a certain nobility, even if it's not necessarily strictly church-based, having something that you believe in and sticking to it.
I'll just add to it then. Just believe in yourself. We'll be okay. The guys think so anyway, and they're usually to be trusted when I'm talking to them.
Take your hand and flip that one back over into it, just about to put the deck away. You happen to glance down, and the facing card toward you, it is the broken one yet again. It wasn't drawn, but it is the next thing you see, that symbol of defeat, a failure, and the loss of someone or something that just leaves a sense of incompleteness.
I think about pulling that exact card in the doctor's house about Acrio, and I just keep it hidden in the deck. Very, very scared. And hide it away.
So that's one vote for stopping. Are we stopping?
2 votes. I'm counting the Geist.
You know what?
Tired.
We either go the rest of the day or we stop in the afternoon.
And if we go the rest of the day, we might not have anything left to ride at the end of it.
I don't think 2 days will kill our animals. It hasn't killed us yet.
Yeah, but we're not the ones walking.
She has a point.
I don't want to be caught off guard.
If we don't protect them, we will never get to Braylet on time.
All right, we
think
ride
Rita's
through the
going to
night
try
again.
and-
The
Sorry.
night or just the day?
I mean, we'll rest during the day and then probably pull through until the next evening.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna be
All right.
jet lagged when we get to Braylet, lads.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
while they're all talking, I think Amrita's she's focused on just finding a place that is sort of still on the road, but off where they're hidden in some place where they could just easily just keep watches, not really focus on what they're all saying, like half listening, but just like using her nature skills and all that.
This area is a little bit trickier because as you come down out of the mountains, things are starting to flatten out. There are more trees and undergrowth, more of those yucca type plants, some cacti, that sort of thing you can use kind of to cover yourself, but not, I mean, really it's nothing assured because you stick out amongst a brown and gray and slightly greenish landscape.
Probably not gonna find anything great then. I guess we're just gonna go a little bit just to see if we still find anything, but doubtful, just to make sure they get rest. And if not, then they'll just have to make do with wherever they stop.
And in that case, I'll have someone roll another d12.
Sure, I'll do it, I guess. Da-na-na.
I just think we turn around and Voltan's the one playing the banjo.
I mean, Cillian wasn't gonna let him go in the back because he doesn't trust him, and so I thought anyway.
That's why it's weird when you turn around and it's Secret's the bird playing old banjo.
It's like, how do you... with the feathers?
The morning, which passes like nighttime, because it's so easy to fall asleep, you wouldn't think so. Are you even going to set up the tent, or is it just going to be everyone bunk down, get as much sleep as you can, and then get ready to go again?
The only thing Gillian cares about a lot is trying to find the safest place for the animals. Like, sleep around them maybe, that they won't get killed.
Mm-hmm. So, the easiest thing you think for that at this point is actually somewhere flat and open you can see all the way around. You've had problems in mountainous clefts where you try to hide because pumas and that sort of thing are able to come down from the mountains. Things that live higher up are not deterred by scaling rock. So having the ability to see all the way around you makes it a little more likely that you can see anything approaching before it gets there. Even though you are also feeling kind of like sitting ducks, nothing's going to be able to get up on you unless it's invisible, you know.
Be vigilant, be prepared to protect, and don't stray from your beliefs.
Immediately goes to nap.
Who takes first watch? Fuck it, fine, I'll do it.
I'll also
Music
stay awake. I
is
can't
just-
sleep.
You can't sleep?
Ding.
That's strange. I feel like I can't do anything but sleep right now.
So that's Cillian and Amrita on first watch. I'll take second, I guess.
I will take second as well.
Lorelei
Third.
tenses up a little.
So that leaves Asuriel and the old man.
When
Yes.
she hears that, she just sits up and looks at the birds like, wait.
I send a
I'll say all the
message to
jokes.
Asuriel and I say, keep an eye on him at every time. And you hear like a middle-aged woman.
Oh god.
Okay.
He gets down off his mule. He's like, I actually slept during the night. I actually feel fine.
Oh my god. I hate it. I hate him. To bed, everybody.
Good night.
Morning.
Afternoon.
So we're
All
all
of you go
wrong.
to sleep.
Evening.
Donkey. I just had the same energy as that like exchange at the dinner table.
Are you guys trying to get anything, prepare anything to eat as a breakfast for those of you on the first watch?
Sure, we'll do it during the watch, so they have something to eat when they wake up to it. I have some levels of supply. I'm sure we can fashion something together.
Oh yeah, tin of beans.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's some high quality shit. We didn't even have cans back then in Innistrad.
Did Reagan tell you? Because he tends to not listen.
Well, he told me things. At first, I swear I thought it was going to be another joke of you catching my attention, but intriguing.
It's one way to call it. I just feel like we're headed into something. You should have all the information. I've seen some of yours. It's only fair you know some of mine.
I think by this point, Amrita will sit down and just stare at the fire. She zones out for a moment, but just inhales. That was my childhood home long ago.
I gather.
I didn't know there was another person involved, but
You only knew of Yond, no the other fucker.
yes. I mean, I guess it shouldn't matter because it wasn't my biological family, but I'm not an open person when it comes to talking about stuff like that.
You don't
at
have
all.
to. I just think there's worth knowing you know we know. This is not an interrogation. Don't feel like it is. And by the way, biological family and other family is at the exact same level. It's all about choice.
So let me ask you something then. You've been pretty much destined to be cursed your whole life as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was destined, but that's a very odd coincidence, is it not?
Maybe. I don't think anyone or anything is coincidence. Things are always going to happen one way, never two ways, because that's the way time works. So I don't think there's really a difference between fate and what ends up happening, because it's always going to be the same thing, no matter what you do. It's always going to be the thing that happened, not the thing that didn't. And we've got a lot of shit to deal with, sure, but it's like any hand. If you bluff enough, you might win at the end.
I see.
What's it like to see in the dark? It sounds awesome.
Interesting, but if I tell you something, you promise not to tell anybody else. Not even Lorelei knows this.
Yes.
I mean, she knows that a little bit, or some of the people we traveled with, that clearly Jan was purposely leading me to Corsiva. It's really stupid, but... And Amrita takes out her flute and just looks it over, and there's like this certain look in her eyes before she just puts it away. This instrument's the last thing I have of what my parents gave me, and I went all the way back to so far as to get it. But the truth is, I really, when you had asked me if I could even probably help his own child, I don't even know how a person becomes a werewolf. None whatsoever. That's another joke about fate. Asuriel says she has amnesia. Guess who else could have it at such an early age?
You don't remember being turned into one?
All I recall is that her name was Ortelia. She was a very lovely woman. She'd found me one day. I was really young. I had a music box, and it had maybe my name in it, or maybe it was somebody else's, who knows? But she insisted that the name was suited for me, I guess. What a weird thing to have. As soon as 14, the weird, awkward puberty stage, teenage werewolf. Lovely. And
Should make a
living
play
near a
about that.
city... Yes, but there's only 3 times in my life that I don't remember when I've been the beast. It was the first time. And when you live near a place like Lamholt, there's, oddly enough, lambs for traders. All I remember is that I blacked out, and in Kessig, it's a death sentence. Instantly. If you are caught or discovered, and I don't know why. Maybe my parents, they didn't want to, they could never really conceive a child, and I was all they had. And I think that's the only reason why they didn't want to do anything. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about this, but there was this man. That's the reason why I know knowledge about monsters. Everything else becomes complicated there, and it's a long history, but the longest that I've gone without turning into the beast was 3 years. I was preoccupied with something at the time. Imagine it's like a dam or some kind of barricade, and because I have kept that side away for so long, yeah, it's just a risk of the game every time, you know. And I think that's why I slipped up when I had killed Lorelei, you know.
You didn't kill Lorelei.
I don't even remember. I just woke up and saw the blood and her corpse. So when I'd asked you that question, it's quite odd. It probably wouldn't even work. It's a weird thing. It's like this is my body and my soul in this body, but yeah, it's complicated. I don't know. I don't remember what happened. That was just another incident, and there was just...
Isn't that
blood
just more
everywhere,
proof that
body.
it's not your fault? I'm not gonna keep saying to stop blaming yourself. I think I'm talking into a void. Just know that we don't mind. All that's left is you.
You know why I sometimes blame myself for not helping the first group of people I met in Gulls? They didn't know about that. None of the others really knew, except one, that repellent fellow that we've mentioned brief times.
He
Pretty
seems
sure
smart.
he's all right. Yeah, but anyway. Let's just say now I finally understand, too, the relations vampires and werewolves can have, because while you've met my friend William, he can act all high and mighty and a prick. Better than everybody. And this was back before we knew he was a vampire, honestly, but when they all found out, they treated me different, and you can't tell me that. Look, it's in the end, it'll just be safer, and when all this is done, I mean, who knows? I'm probably just gonna die, because Remus is a sly guy, if he's anything like Yond, and if they couldn't kill me then, they might attempt to kill me later, whether or not we survive against Ripperax, so it doesn't matter anymore.
You guys beat fucking Jan's ass. Don't be so worried.
It's already too late for that. But I'm guessing your curse, to forget about mine, has something to do with that vapor. What is it called?
The worst thing is that there's so much mystery about it. It started a while ago. A lot of people in my family believe it's a curse. It might be possible. It's probably it. There hasn't been a guy who hasn't had it. Not in recent memory. My grandpa, Len, made it to 29. My dad got to 22, I think. We just die. It's that simple. Like everyone else in this forsaken world. I've come to terms with that a long time ago. I don't need a long life. I never really cared about dying young because I would make myself known during that time, you know? I'd laugh with people and I'd make memories. And then 2 years ago, that sort of became null and void. And I lived a while, like 2 years, being an absolute nihilist. I mean, yeah, I did some shitty things, but never to people who didn't really deserve it. And I just sort of thought none of it fucking mattered, because it didn't. In a year or 2 years' time, the people would have forgotten the shitty things ever happened to him. Or if they remembered that, they didn't remember it would be me who did them.
The feeling of wanting to be seen. How about we play a game, but you have to close your eyes. You have to close your eyes for this game before the other ones wake.
Yep. My eyes are closed, I'm sorry.
All right. And you have to stand up. Stand up, eyes closed, arms at your side.
Weird position.
Yep. And Rita's gonna go over and it's like awkward, but she'll give them a hug.
And they
I
will
give
really
the hug back.
I don't rely on people, but if you need to hear it, fine. If I didn't need you, my dear friend, this is like the first time she's being sincere, but it's like very hard because she's not good at this. Then why would I have asked you to go see the Yawns with me twice? And why did I listen to you when I was almost going to punch Remus in the face, which could have instantly killed all of us?
I know. Don't worry. I'm unresistible. But no worries. I won't tell anyone you did this, okay? You can be as cool as you want to be.
It's not what I'm going for, but... And you can still act like a bullfrog.
Oh, don't worry. That's not going to change. Don't be afraid of physical comfort. People need it. And that wasn't an innuendo. I promise.
You're more tolerable when you're more serious.
You guys make me more tolerable. Oh, I think our watch is coming to a close. Let's wake up the next people.
Asuriel during
See anything during this
firelight.
time, by the way, Jake?
Yeah.
You did not, due to the last roll, the random encounters. This watch passes quietly. There is more life coming awake in the morning hours. It is very strange when you finally try to go to sleep. The light in your eyes, you almost find something to cover your face with, but eventually you're able to, just do out of sheer exhaustion.
Lorelei,
Anybody else?
Acrio, come wake up.
Lorelei's like pulled her cloak around. If it was like a hoodie with drawstring, she would have like done it completely tight, so it was just like a thing around her head. It's like, I don't wanna.
Yeah, Amrita's gonna go over to Lorelei and like kneel down next to her and just whisper quietly as possible so the other two can't hear. I don't know what is going on with your mental state right now, but you need to rest longer. I can just stay awake this round if you'd like.
Lorelei immediately gets up, like, and just shakes it off. No, I'm good. I'm good. Like, one of her eyes is closing. Like, I'm fine. Really, I'm okay. You need rest as much as I do. I'm okay.
The bags under Amrita's eyes almost look like a mirror.
Yeah, fix that. Is that how bad I look? Go to bed. Go to bed.
Just like mutters and just goes and lays down.
Good thing Amrita's not concerned about her appearance, so she might be offended by saying, "Is that how bad I look?"
Yeah.
Yeah, Lorelei's
Don't you
gonna
ever
like,
dare say that to Cillian.
Lorelei's
He'll
just gonna
cry.
pace
He'll
and
kill everyone and then himself.
Yeah.
existential crisis caused by someone insulting how he looks.
Mm.
Yeah, Lorelei's gonna pace, and once Acrio's up, she's gonna like stay on the other side of the encampment to him, and sort of out of earshot, she just mutters, "There, are you happy now?" To herself. But yeah, she's kind of keeping a distance from Acrio, markedly.
Mm.
How is he occupying this time?
Worried that Lorelei is going to freak out when people need her and that she's becoming more and more of a liability. He's has a careful eye on her as well as everything around them.
Do I notice him keeping an eye on me? Is he being subtle about
Make
it?
an insight check, but with disadvantage because you have exhaustion.
Yeah.
Ah.
Haha!
I think you would detect that he seems to glance your direction as much as he does keep an eye on the plateau around you. What exactly that means, and as distracting as that might be from your inner monologue to the ether.
Yeah, she keeps muttering to herself for a bit, like looking at Acrio, but like probably out of earshot, so it does just kind of look like she's mumbling nonsense to herself. She's like, "Look, now he's freaking out. Now he's freaking out and he's looking at me because you made me freak out. I can't be doing this. It's fine. Look, I'm looking at him, not feeling anything. No change in heart rate. Nothing is different. Okay? Everything's fine. I'm totally fine. I'm cool, calm, and collected. But I bet no one thinks that now because I had a fucking scream like that."
Hi, Jake. How crazy does Lorelei look pacing around talking to herself?
She probably isn't. She's probably too exhausted to try and not look unhinged at this point.
Yeah, make an insight check, but with advantage, so it'll be a straight roll.
Good.
She's had
do
too
I-
much caffeine.
Not enough caffeine, actually. Normally, the caffeine helps me pretend to be.
Oh
normal.
yeah. Oh. This is my devotion insight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it would be a straight roll.
Straight roll. Got it. 23. I got real good at those real quick.
The thing is, while anyone else would think this person's losing it, you detect more a level of conflict, like an inner turmoil. It's like you're insightful enough to know that she's not just cracking, like she's struggling is more the way you would detect it.
Yeah, I'll leave her alone for the watch.
That's hilarious because she's not going to. At some point when she's pacing around, if she crosses paths with Acrio and catches him looking at it at all, she'll just look at him and be like, I'm not crazy. I know because I shouted, it might seem that I know because I shouted, it might seem like I'm crazy, but I'm not going to snap. Okay?
In the middle of her monologue, he'll just rest a hand on the side of her arm and just give her a pat a few times.
She immediately cracks. Immediately, the biggest, bawling tears down her face. Immediately. Can't do that, he's gonna be upset.
Who is going to be upset?
Lars is gonna be upset.
Who is Lars?
He was with us before, and he's in my brain, and he talked to me. That's why I yelled. He talked to me before, and he doesn't like that I'm not thinking about him as much as I used to. Amrita thinks it's River X tricking me, but I don't want it to be. I hope it's him. Well, actually, I hope it's... Actually, I don't know what I hope it is. Because if it is him, then that means he's not in the blessed sleep like I prayed he would be. Every single night on the way back from Isabella's Manor, I prayed that he would be in the blessed sleep and that he would be okay. But no, he's stuck in my head. Because, and she just keeps ranting and rambling and sniveling, and it's ugly crying. It's ugly crying.
Well, let me fix my sanity 1 sec. It was a little lower when I was doing the roll when I was a child. Okay. I don't know about spirits latching onto people, but...
You would have some experience with that with Cillian, even though you may not be aware of how it works.
But if Cillian hasn't ever seen whoever this Lars is around you, then... And Acrio's actively trying to piece together cogs turning, fumes coming out of his ears.
In his mind, it's just he's got a whiteboard and frantically strings going.
Wait, what does this mean? I think you do whatever you think needs to be done, but whoever is there shouldn't influence what's happening now. Just from my perspective, the dead are gone.
I know, you have no idea how sorry I feel right now. Because it could not have picked a worse time, really. In the middle of the needles I pass, I could have drawn everything to us. He says he's stuck, and that he can't always reach me. And that he struggles, and when he spoke to me, it was like I wasn't even fully here. It was like I was spaced out. If it were up to me, I would do something, but I don't know how. Look,
you buried him?
Yeah, in Kosovo.
Then that's all we can do.
He doesn't like you,
Just me?
I don't know his opinions on anyone else. He only knows Amrita. So maybe it's just because, you're all new.
Well, I never fought a head ghost before, but if it fixes the problem, then I can give it a try.
Raises the hammer.
Yeah.
Put your head on this anvil, Lorelei.
Yeah. Well, I just swing it up like a baseball bat.
Hey,
wham!
Out of the park.
Yeah, Lorelei looks nervous, genuinely quite afraid. I just hope that doesn't make him mad.
Guys tend to do that, huh?
Yeah, I don't... He never struck me as the type. This doesn't seem like him, but it's things, really, that I feel like only... I can't explain it in a way that makes sense.
Well, it is inside your head, so what it knows, whether it be a geist or something else messing with you.
I'm sorry. I know you don't need this right now. I shouldn't have even said anything. I shouldn't have even brought it up. I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. Don't let it cloud your head. Okay? You have enough to worry about. Leave it to me. I'll worry about it.
I do trust you to take care of it.
I'll try.
And we're always here if you need something.
If I space out again and you ever take notice, see if Cillian can see anyone that I'm talking to. I don't know when he'll be able to reach me again. The last time he did was in a dream. This is really the first time he's kind of speaking to me like this.
We'll keep a watch.
But not too close. It's not like you have to worry about
Lorelei.
me suddenly,
In the name of Avacyn, you're okay. Just...
Yeah, I hope so. And she goes back to pacing. And as soon as she's out of earshot of Acrio, she's just like, don't get any ideas. If you're angry at him, be angry at me. And she says nothing else as she paces.
Acrio just kind of stands there watching for a little while.
Channel divinity turn undead.
Eventually you give the mules and Petunia something to eat. They've slept for a while, but almost passing out as soon as you guys stopped, but you roused them. It's about high noon at this point.
It's
Nerds.
And after you do so, Acrio, you rouse Asuriel and the old man, or actually, would you go and wake up the Cathar, or would you let Asuriel do that?
I don't have an issue with him yet.
Mm-hmm.
Though my suspicions of the magic he casts are rising. Because they don't exactly teach that in Cathar school.
I mean, it looked similar to the Sacred Flame that Lorelei had been using, and does Acrio have Sacred Flame?
No, he has ascending
Yeah,
flame.
Right.
But Lorelei isn't a Cathar, and he kind of understands that, but this guy is.
True.
Like, he should have learned from
He doesn't get the
church.
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, for as long as he would have had to have been, given his age, yeah. It was suspicious. It was notably suspicious.
Like, that's weird. Not oh my god.
So he's actually a little less leery about going to wake up the old man than he is the demon.
Uh-huh.
Demon.
Yeah, Asuriel, he tapped with his foot. Your
She
watch.
looks up at it and like, okay.
And you get to spend it with the old man.
Wait, what? Oh no, I forgot.
And I walk away to go wake the old man up. He gets a hand on the shoulder and a shake.
Oh, midnight now. Sorry, who are you? Oh, yes.
Oh no, the Alzheimer's is setting in. Oh no.
No, he'll get up and he'll take some of the cans of beans that he had and set them over the fire on a little rack to warm them up and get one ready for Asuriel as well. Do you have anything you want to do during this watch while I kind of vaguely roleplay him for Ben?
She's just staring at him a lot. She's keeping her distance. Almost she's not staring at him, she's staring at the bird. Just looking in between them. Sometimes out at what she's actually supposed to be looking at, but not much else, no.
Make a perception check. This will be at disadvantage still. The bird kind of flutters off, flies away, probably gets something else to eat, as it doesn't seem the old man Voltan really has any inclination to share with the bird, but he does bring over one of the warmed up cans of beans with a fork for you.
Thanks. Hesitantly take it.
Mm-hmm. He smiles. He's got a pleasant face, turns around to leave, and as you go to eat, you think you hear somewhere, it's not, you're not sure, because it doesn't exactly sound like a person, but you just hear a voice just be like, got a problem, bitch.
Wait, I can't understand the bird. What the fuck?
And you heard a voice from somewhere.
When she hears that, and she's gonna look at Volta and she's like, "Did you hear that?"
What?
Someone said, "Do you have a problem?" I don't want to say the last word.
I didn't hear anything.
Wait, you talk to your bird, right? Does it actually say words back?
Don't worry about it, old man. It's goes off.
She's gonna keep looking around her really nervously, looking for that bird.
Mm-hmm. You would see it, Seagrass, land on one of the mules as it's just laying down. It's just sitting on the side, as kind of moving up and down with the breathing.
She keeps staring at it. Hey, bird, can you talk?
Bitch. The bird doesn't move its mouth at all or its beak, so
She looks at Voltan again. There's like any suggestion that he may have moved his mouth.
doesn't look like it. He's like got some bean juice dripping outside of his mouth as he's chewing, getting in his beard.
She whispers to herself, "The bird talks. I gotta tell the others."
And Lorelei thought she was going insane.
This is like cabin fever. Pass fever.
But other than that, the watch passes fairly quietly. You see a hawk fly through the sky. Interestingly, Seaver's kind of like eyes it because it's a predator, but it continues on.
He does not say
Whenever
bitch to the predator.
would I hear that? They went, "Bitch."
Mm.
For the rest of the travel, she's gonna be staring at that bird.
But yeah, you guys are able to get up. Everyone kind of was able to eat during the watches, so by the time everyone is roused and the animals have rested, you are prepared to continue on, at least until nightfall.
How
All right,
far out
Amrita's
are we?
gonna.
You would gauge yourself to be the base of the pass in this region.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
at furthest, you're maybe 3 days from Braylett, if that. Traveling at a normal pace.
Can we double the pace and just kill ourselves?
I mean, you can just take 3 levels of exhaustion by the time you get there. That'll be totally fine.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. While they're getting
the
ready,
thing?
Amrita's she's gonna go over to Acrio to just quietly speak to him. Okay, so you were the one who found Asuriel, and she had said she recollected nothing, right?
It was a very awkward encounter, yes.
This is also really strange, but she sees very well in the dark, and a regular person shouldn't be able to do that. I mean, obviously we know that I can see a certain distance, but she can see much further than I can, and it's perplexing to me. And usually with a sight like that, that's something a demon can do. I'm not 100% certain, but typically within reason.
Zero and I are playing the game where you slap each other's hands.
Oh my god! You know what? I'm gonna just for funsies.
Every time she gets her hands on, she's like, "Ah!"
I like using sanity to determine my reaction to things.
Yeah.
You crack.
Yeah. Okay. That's a lot of information to just. Okay.
I'm sorry it's coming out like that, but I mean, there's a lot that's been happening, but there's other. But she can still speak the angelic language and has some abilities that look semi. I don't know. I don't know all that stuff specifically. I only know about monsters, but what base information I have no other explanation.
Well, whatever she is, more people we have to keep an eye on. Okay, we can't do anything right now, but thanks for telling me.
Yes, I thought you should know. But we're gonna have to continue and just watch our backs.
Pretend it doesn't exist right now. Because while she might be a demon, we do have an actual demon to go deal with. Devil.
But yes,
Oh,
correct.
correct me.
It's something in between.
Yeah.
You all were able to get in a short rest, so if you want to roll some hit die, able to do that.
Fuck
I don't
you.
need it. I forget. Do you also
Wait.
get hit die? Do you also get hit die back on a short rest, or is that only long
Oh.
rest?
No, you only get back on a long rest, or if you were to rest like normally, or have a proper sleep cycle, you would get one back every day. But I'm going to say this day you do
Okay.
not, because
Fuck
kind
you.
of didn't do that.
Yeah, and we all
I
still
got
have a level.
I got
of
excited being
exhaustion.
like, yay, I'm back at full, and then I remember my hit point maximum is currently reduced by 2, so it's I was at
Oh.
full much quicker.
I realized that I
yeah,
can
right.
change the skill proficiency thing during a short rest. I'm not gonna change it, but
That's useful.
But
yeah.
also,
I was thinking
I
long rest,
heard-
that seems like a long ways to go, but I mean, in a normal game, that isn't so
Yeah.
far.
That's every day. Wow.
Also, I forgot, how long does it take for me to get all my speed back that my leg gets better?
Oh yeah, you are
Luckily-
still dealing with a splint.
Oh yeah, shit. I forgot.
Was that a minor injury?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, so you need basically 3 days of recuperation, which I don't think you've really done. You've had maybe one back in Silburn. But yeah, what is Asuriel's speed reduced by? It was 10 feet, right?
Yeah, it was 10
20.
feet.
Yeah.
She
So,
had 20
yeah.
speed.
Basically, she's just got a limp that makes it difficult for her to keep up on foot. So, yeah, every time you step, you still kind of feel that tinge of pain until you've had a time to really keep pressure off of it and not be, bouncing up a mountainside on muleback.
All right, second one. For the prayer, could I change it every long rest or a short rest?
It's linked to your mana, so you use a couple of your sorcery points, 3 of them, and those 3 are basically permanently casting that spell effectively. The 2nd level spell slot if it were another person. When you get that back on a long rest, you can choose to either attune it to the prayer again and utilize it for that again, or you can just not if you don't want to. Yeah, it lasts until you would rejuvenate your mana.
All right. Hopefully we get a long rest in Braelet.
Oh, no.
Don't jinx us.
You get sick and die.
Before we officially leave, I'm gonna take that trinket. Amrita's gonna take that trinket out of her pocket and show it to Cillian. You might know whose this is. I'm not exactly sure.
What am I looking at?
It's the pouch that had the tobacco in it, and it had initials on it. I don't remember. Were the initials like PH or what were they?
PV. Did you explain where you got it to him?
I mean, I could try to guess, but...
Oh. I don't... Okay, it was from the wreckage when I looked at the bodies.
Lost family. Well, the V is Vistani then.
His family. That would explain the scarring on...
Oh, yeah. I think he lost everyone. He made a lot of graves.
And you idiots wanted to bring him along.
He survived.
Alright, it's time
It's
we...
fine.
just-
It's probably like Peter or something.
Or Patrick.
But thanks. I haven't smoked in a bit, but I could use this.
It smells awful.
By the style of it,
Why?
Cillian, you would think it's maybe a Gavany tobacco.
Is that which wait, are they like provinces? The area?
Province, parish, it's kind of the same term because the church is the state. Yeah, there's more church terms involved, but yeah, basically the parish of Gavany would be the highest quality. Generally, Nephalia also pretty high quality in terms of like how expensive it is, but I would say Nephalian tobacco is more like Cubans, where it's like highly sought after, but actually not the best.
This is nice stuff. Can I keep it?
Sure, I don't really care. And it
If you were
stinks.
gonna say no, I was gonna keep it anyway. Just all above table.
Smoke it later, far distance away from all of us, somewhere else, please.
I haven't smoked in such a long time. You shouldn't be complaining.
You're gonna smell awful afterwards. And she's gonna walk to Petunia.
They're gonna go up to Amrita and Petunia. She's gonna whisper, like, get real close to Amrita. And she says, "The bird talks.
What?
The bird, the crow, the raven talks. It called me a bitch."
Rita
you
tries
just
to think of
swear,
how far she
Asuriel?
fell. Ugh. Like Lorelei's like, what did I just hear?
No, I
Alright.
was just repeating something someone else said.
Cillian,
I'm
what did you
sure
say?
did, young lady.
Goes back to packing everything up.
Let's just get on the horse and we'll travel. Maybe you just hit your head.
No, I hit it a lot of times and never heard a bird talk until now.
Yeah, but recently you did see smells and you could like hear colors, so you know.
Are you
It's like-
gaslighting her right now?
I'm gaslighting.
Wow.
Wow.
DM gaslighting.
Gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
I mean, she rolled a 9 on the perception, so she really doesn't know exactly what's going on.
All right.
She's a little stupid.
She is a little
I'm
stupid.
dice lighting her.
Gas
Let's
dicing.
hold on tight, and let's just get going.
Okay. But she's still staring at that bird the whole time.
It almost seems like it's ignoring you at this point.
Being hard to get.
Surreal X bird.
No, what the fuck?
I'm so
Wake
sorry
up
those
one night and
words
it's
came
just
out.
Rubber Ducky holding the knife to her.
I don't know if we're going to go jump straight to the next night, but she's going to try and find something shiny and give it to it.
Yeah, so during the day's travel, you can be on the lookout for shiny things, bits of glass or something. As you guys travel, starting out a bit after noon, it's odd because you're used to getting up and things becoming gradually more light. The clouds, these weird shades of purple through them and oranges and greens throughout the day, intermingled with the gray of a storm cloud. It's always very strange in Stinzia. Used to it getting light and then dim, but now it's like as you're setting off, everything is just progressively getting more dim throughout the day. What would the marching order be for this? Kind of the same as yesterday, with the exception of Asuriel being on Petunia in the front.
I think so.
Yeah.
Cool. Everyone's a little more well rested, the animals especially, but still feeling that slog of having gone, all night the night before. It's still that weightiness in your eyes, but try to keep them sharp. Amrita and Asuriel, you would be the first to see, off in the distance, in kind of this grassy pasture almost, bordering the moors, a figure on horseback, very distantly, completely midnight black steed. You can't really make out the person at this point, but they're kind of trudging through this tall grass.
I'm singing the song the prisoners are singing.
That's a pretty horse.
It is. I mean, your eyes are pretty good, especially during the day, in addition to at night. While you can't really make out too many details, you can tell the horse is one of the best riding horses, in terms of breeding that you've ever seen.
Amrita is going to listen to see if she can hear anything, or if the individual they could be talking to themselves or doing whatever as they're traveling.
What you hear is a flutter of wings, several pheasants, quail, something like that, fly up out of the tall grass, and then a flip, like a string, a crossbow bolt probably, as the figure kind of raises something. You don't see one of the birds fall, however.
Is this a man or a woman? Is this a man or a woman?
Long hair, that's all you can really tell at this distance. Like, they aren't tiny in the distance.
Cillian, shut up for 5 minutes. There's somebody up here or off in the distance.
Oh, seriously?
I don't think they're trying to shoot at some birds. A distance off. Are they directly in our path of where we're specifically going, or they're kind of off of it?
They're not on the beaten path, but as you're making your way, there's this, like a gully kind of cut through the stone, what might have been a dry riverbed at one point, with almost this natural stone bridge arc that goes across it that you would have to use to cross on the path. You can tell it's well beaten pathway across this, so you don't have to go down in this gorge and go across. And as you're getting close to that, you can distinctly tell this figure spots you and spurs the horse forward to meet you at this crossing point.
Rita will slow Petunia down a little bit, but just make sure she's got the eyeball hidden and everything, but watching.
Mm-hmm. The figure that approaches, like I said, long hair, wavy, black, skin that's pale, wearing dark, like riding pants, and it's strange as you all start to see a little more clearly bare-chested male, but almost wearing like this corset on his lower part of his stomach, these like bands on his arms, frilly embellishments, bit of jewelry, obviously nothing silver, and these eyes that almost shimmer yellow
It's a fucking vampire.
as he approaches the dark red like rings under his eyes. Make it clear he is not utilizing any kind of glamour as a vampire crosses your path. Now, as he's approaching, you can see the crossbow slung over the side of his saddle, kind of not even paying attention to that. There is at his side a thin rapier, not dissimilar to the fencing blade used by Mr. Pierce.
Oh, shit.
But yes, he'll pull the reins up on the other side of this little stone bridge over the gorge on this black horse. And as he does, just, well. I wouldn't guess that you are from the state. Don't recognize your faces. Cross the pass then.
You presume correct?
Hi.
Why so?
Kraus of the Voldaren. A genuine pleasure.
Acrio, clutching his hammer, helmet on, all his armor adorned, takes a step forward toward, well, not step, but marches this horse a step or two forward. Now, I can only assume a man of your bold taste in clothing could be nothing more than an individual we wouldn't want to mess with or bother.
Oh, I'm not bothered at all. Just intrigued. You are? Wouldn't want to forget formal introductions, since I've shown you mine.
Hi,
I'm Cillian.
Asuriel.
Yeah, Acrio did hesitate as everybody else speaks up behind him.
Rita has not said
I like
anything.
Volok, for
She's
the
just
record.
watching.
You have a nice horse.
Reaches down, kind of pats the steed on the neck. Uriel, my favorite mount.
He's pretty.
Yes, he is.
If you have a favorite, you must have others. That's impressive.
The Voldaren are not known for anything less than excess.
Well,
Quite
Mr.
so.
Kraus, I suppose we should make this brief. We don't want to get in your way. Are you going to let us
You're not a
pass?
conversationalist? Here I was, hunting pheasants, all on my lonesome with just Uriel here. Then I spy you coming across the pass. It's rather dangerous. Many stories to be told, I'm sure.
Any dead along the way. We take care of our own.
Unfortunate waste.
Nothing much to tell, I'm
ask.
afraid. Go ahead, Acrio.
Yeah, if you're one for conversation, a particularly interesting beast we happened upon in the past. Anything one so knowledgeable as you might know of?
Sadly, I don't stray very far from the estate grounds, but I would be very interested in any tales or
Rita's gonna
ears,
insight that.
claws.
Is he lying?
He's interested in
Lying
stories
about
it?
what?
Oh, I don't know, about not venturing into Needle's Pass.
Or not knowing about this beast?
Yeah, the beast. Sorry.
Sure, you guys can make insight checks with disadvantage. Regular for Acrio.
25.
Ah.
Acrio hasn't really encountered or had to interact much with vampires,
Luckily.
especially not ones who are open about it. If you ever had, for the most part, they were glamored and faking being human. This one is more above board, but at the same time, there is a sly way of speaking around anything. Doesn't sound as though he's particularly outright lying. He's not trying to hide anything other than maybe hiding everything.
Why don't you venture far? I mean, the world is vast. There's a lot to see. I'm sure you're interested.
I would, but Lady Olivia has a tight leash at the moment. It's quite constricting.
That's unfortunate. I mean, there's a lot of fucked up shit, like the thing we just fought. Just like wings and stuff. But there's also a lot of beautiful things. I think you're missing out.
Look like a man bat.
Sounds beautiful. I should like to see it.
I don't know, it didn't exactly look right.
Now, I must.
Sometimes
blunt.
flaws are the most unique aesthetic.
For fuck's sake.
Gonna try and look for a flaw in him.
Other than the fact he doesn't look human, beauty is in the eye.
I mean, that's my whole philosophy, man.
He's like very symmetrical.
Looks like fucking Keanu Reeves, or not? Who's the guy from Star Wars?
Gonorrhea?
Yeah.
No, I said Keanu Reeves, but that's not the right
Adam
person.
Driver. Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Oh.
Shirtless Adam Driver, where they're like super wide.
Does he look like gonorrhea? Just
Not really, no.
Anyway.
If all business is concluded, we have places to be. And it seems you were quite occupied yourself.
Well, if it's going to be like that, pats his horse on the shoulder, taking a few steps back, but as he does, you see the horse itself starts to change, its body shrinking as it becomes like another humanoid that Kraus is then sitting on the shoulders. He does this like kick around over this other individual's shoulder, landing next to him and just kind of like resting his chin on the other one's shoulder. Uriel, my favorite mount.
Yeah, it's Cyril goes like from smiling at the horse, like,
I love them.
Time to fucking die. All right, everybody.
What?
Whoa.
Bro.
oh, okay, so
That
it's
was
another vampire.
unexpected.
Okay.
I like the move.
I'm just passing. Nothing more.
And that's just perfectly fine. Problem is, well, I'm not a very good pheasant hunter, and I found myself rather thirsty.
Well,
Cyril's gonna look at the second guy. He's like, "Is your back okay?"
He'll roll his shoulders with a grin. I'm used to it.
Des,
All
we
right.
really don't have the time to be entertaining this line of thought. Would you take a tribute and let us be on our way?
They're dead now. Acrio's already getting off his horse, brandishing his hammer.
My career is steady on.
A tribute? Toll, we could call it.
Precisely.
You want us to
Just
catch
something
this for
to
you?
wet our whistles.
Of course. Provided that you let all of us leave here breathing.
Wouldn't
We
want
are-
to be wasteful.
We
Having
more than
trouble with
understand
your
that one
aim.
needs to satisfy their urges.
Everything
having
in
trouble
everything in moderation.
Does it look like Amrita can see any pheasants nearby? Herself or no?
Not really. He's kind of left the tall grass for this more rocky area on the path where you guys have been traversing.
And there's probably no other type of animal game.
I mean, there's Petunia.
You.
No.
No.
Lorelei's going to like raise her hand like up a bit, so it's like because I think they're a bit away, and she's
Mhm.
gonna grab her dagger and just like point it at her palm, not actually into the skin, but she's gonna point it there. She's like,
Don't do that.
if you give us a
So
tribute and
hard
let us
to grip afterward.
fine.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get us past this. That's all.
I'm gonna cast Ascending Flame.
Okay.
That's the way it's
Let
going.
me be a Capri Sun, you fucker!
Yeah. Yeah,
I was totally going to go
hearing
on with that.
Lorelei offering herself up. Yeah, he's gonna cast Ascending Flame.
Oh.
Yeah, and he'll just shout that they can choke on their blood.
Lorelei just puts a hand down like, okay. Negotiations are over, I see.
Cool. Then all of you are able to roll initiative, and they have Kraus has to do what, a dex save, con save?
I don't know. I never used this before.
I think it's the same as Sacred Flame. It's just it's just the after effects are different. I think yeah.
Good.
Starting off good.
In a sense, Amrita is relieved.
Is initiative at disadvantage as well?
Yes, it is actually. Although Cillian, don't think it's gonna roll any worse.
Cillian was in the process of telling Reagan to look for anyone else around.
Sure.
So that's the.
He will do a pass and just come back really quickly. It's like nothing on their side, I don't think.
No, thanks.
And Kraus.
Oh, he Dexy.
Hey, Dexy. Yeah, just immediately, like, one hand tightens the shield grip, the hammer goes out, and just blasts radiant energy towards the vampire.
I was about to say, that's probably not the only thing he's in.
Yeah, the
I'm
flame
sorry.
almost ascending from the ground, he dodges it very quickly and easily and turns back to you with this smirk. I will have what's mine, regardless of how I take it.
I'll tell them that that their ashes will paint my armor.
Ooh.
He's angry. I will.
I should offer myself up more often if it motivates people this much. That's a habit.
Oh, this is gonna bring the wrong message to Lorelei.
I will cast Shield of Faith on myself, just because I need to be chunky right now. And I'll take a step forward. Shield in hand.
Yeah, as you
And
raise
I'll
your
just-
shield and say the words with Avacyn's symbol on the front and Gisella's sun emblazoned behind it, this golden radiance like sunlight itself shimmers over you.
Yeah, and I'll just try and bring the hammer down on the first vampire. God, this music's so fucking intense.
I fucking love it.
Jesus. Ooh.
Ah, there we go.
Immediately gonna use a not a human determination. I do have my scorching rays though later. But yeah, first attack miss.
Uriel in the front takes it on the forearm, but lets it glance off the side as he pushes your hammer to the side, almost seeming to defend his fellow Kraus. Kraus will draw his rapier, stepping back somewhat from Uriel and taking kind of a dueling stance, just swiping the air a few times as he then holds himself open, bare-chested to whatever might come at him next, as he will effectively dodge for this turn.
She's still freaked out. Suddenly we're throwing shit around for some reason. But when they're grouped up like that, you know what's good? A moonbeam. Just making herself a target.
You're also but you're a target that's right next to the fucking werewolf. So if there's any time to be a target, it's now.
True.
Asuriel is able to access her magic, and the clouds part ever so slightly as a shimmer of sun/moonlight shines down directly on this pair of vampires, who will have to do things on their turns if they're still standing in it. However, at the end of Asuriel's turn, Uriel is going to do almost like this backward kick as he extends his legs up, catching Acrio on the bottom of the jaw just enough to stun him momentarily and allowing him to move, without provoking an attack of opportunity as he steps out of that moonbeam.
Parkour!
Shit.
She's gonna get off of Petunia and just basically be like, tell Asuriel, stay on the horse. And she will go ahead and just cast Crimson Right. We'll do it on the sword. Fuck it. So I take 2 to myself.
As the fire ignites on the saber.
I think my blood would probably boil your insides. And
Spicy.
I think I'll just stay behind Acrio for now to back him up and just hold and attack should they get near him.
Kraus will look up, squinting into the light that's coming down directly on him before turning back to Amrita. Well, I do like my pheasants spicy. And he's not going to do anything. As Uriel is up, you see the Volderan shapeshifter begin to change again, going down onto all fours as his fanged teeth are bared. His body extends, but he doesn't change back into a horse. Instead, black fur growing over his body. You see what looks like a large, muscular, black mountain lion in place of him.
Surreal's favorite.
Trauma.
The cougar snarls and claws like scrape at the rock. Voltan will let fly a blast of this light that forms in his hands, and then as it extends from him, dims to almost blackness in the air, going toward, say he's going to shoot at the cougar, which he is able to hit with this black repulsion and this snarl from it. He does not dismount. His horse wants to keep back from all of this.
Every instinct, everything I've learned to survive tells me right now, don't go into this fight. But he looks at Acrio and Amrita, ready to protect each other, and jumps off his own horse using half movement. I want to slap it on the ass to try and send it away from the air, away from these fucking vampires.
Yep.
And using the bonus action to dash to get here, get in this line, draw one of the swords because I can't draw the other one yet, and go into the exact same stance as Amrita.
Oh my god, we're like Power Rangers, yellow, red, blue. Yeah, we're the fucking Power Rangers.
Yeah, go Power Rangers. Sorry.
Oh no, we're idiots.
Yeah, but it was cool.
So
Yeah,
you need to do
Kraus-
like a Super Sentai team pose.
Use a legendary action similar to Uriel with a burst of speed. He's going to run up toward the spicy pheasant. Almost focused more on her than Acrio. You are able to make an attack of opportunity as your reaction.
All right. Oh wait, sorry, I hit that before you said if it hit. I assume because he's bare-chested.
He is, however, he is very
Oh.
quick, and he is going to use his own reaction to feint and try to redirect your blade. I need you to make either a perception or insight check, your choice, versus his deception of 18.
Perception. Yes!
Yeah!
Nice.
Fuck you!
As he's attempting to feint and parry your blade and twist it around, you lunge forward and swipe with the saber. Him somewhat unused to not proper dueling techniques, perhaps. You see what he's trying to do and cut into him. The slashing damage is resisted, but the fire you can see burns his flesh.
Directing it like behind Kraus and sort of on this corner, Lorelei is going to briefly close her eyes and sort of imagine, like very vividly, a vampire dangling off of that canyon, like with one hand up, staked through it, like to the floor. So they're just
Nice.
like hanging, staked to the floor. And then when she opens her eyes, that's going to be what the Night Terror is as I cast Night Terror behind them, and I'm going to have it try and affect Kraus. Because he's the one currently up in business. So that is a DC 14 intelligence save. Ooh. Come on, please be stupid. Please be stupid. Please be stupid. That's really good damage.
Fuck.
But it's doable. What I'm reading
Oh,
from
he's only got a +2.
I'm reading from this is that it's doable. Okay.
So he glances back, almost more focused on his duel with Amrita, keeping a side glance to Acrio for any movement he might make. You can see he's very well trained with the sword. He recognizes this shape as being not real, but then also that it is trying to draw his attention away, and he just won't allow it. Amrita, you can see that the shape of this like vampire looks up, and like within the mouth, which extends like far beyond what a mouth should, almost glowing red, almost like the mouth of a volcano.
Oh shit.
Like there's a fire within it.
My Night Terror's a
Yeah.
and then bonus action, seeing that he ignored my Night Terror, I'll be like, focus on this, bitch! And I'm gonna try and backhand him with my spiritual weapon. Just directly behind him, and spiritual
All
weapon.
pleasantries out the window, good sir.
I was
Goodbye.
nice! It's not your fault that this fell through, but still, does a 17 hit him?
Will just hit because he has nothing he's going to do about it currently.
He's naked.
Actually, hold up.
Ah, fuck.
Oh
He
shit.
had dodged on his turn. He
Yep.
had kind of allowed Amrita's to go in because he was trying to parry it, but yeah, so you will have to make another one since he is dodging.
Problemo. No!
Yep. It does seem as though he is aware of this glowing, broken, Geist-like shovel that swings through the air. He flips his sword behind him and just like it glances off and regains his composure.
And then I'm just gonna get down off my mule and just stand there, annoyed.
Yeah, he's going to use one more legendary action to strike at the end of your turn at Amrita with the rapier. So yeah, only 7 piercing. You get the saber in across his blade just as he lunges, and you're clipped with it, but because you are werewolf in nature, you're only going to take 3 points, in fact.
Oh, yeah.
You're like so worried, like, no! Oh.
Yeah. It's like, it's literally just me out of character stress, and my character's all collected, probably like taunted, you know? Yeah.
And Acrio, you're up before his turn.
I'm gonna look at the shirtless guy. Hope you don't lump your boyfriend. And I'm gonna blast his boyfriend with all 3 rays of scorching ray.
Wow, Acrio's homophobic.
Ooh. I will use human determination on the first one.
Okay.
There we go.
That means that all 3 of those will hit.
Nice.
Homophobic into determination.
Wow.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh.
I mean, it could have been worse.
So 14 points of angelic flame hits this cougar. It is certainly bloodied at this point. You can see fire on the fur still like eating away at the skin as it's snarling.
Can I take up that space into flanking?
It's floating, right? He can hang out with a shovel, right?
Yes, you will, however, be standing in the moonbeam.
So I will be moving it
Okay.
anyway.
Okay. I can work with that.
Duck into the space behind him to flank, standing in the moonbeam, hoping Asuriel does something about it before
Yeah,
he burns you.
I feel like the armor on the back of my head heating up.
Finally coming around to Kraus's turn. He's standing almost like side to side on the edge of this little stone bridge, between the two of you, Acrio and the other.
Ouch. That will hit.
Amrita's too quick and parries, however, Acrio almost relying too much on the shield and the additional magic protection, he is able to slip it between one of the splints, harder than you would expect to be possible, jamming this blade between your armor.
Ooh. I need to make a concentration check.
Woo!
Nice. Also, at the beginning of his turn, because he was not taking any radiant damage during any of that,
Oh, shit.
he does regenerate.
1d10 plus 10! Woo!
Oh.
All radiant damage.
Oh, shit. Ah!
You see all of his wounds closing up as if nothing had even touched him.
Oh shit. No, Acrio's in the moonbeam, and neither of them are gonna be... This is a problem. She's gonna move the moonbeam maybe just over here, where it's kind of between Cillian and Acrio. Like this Mr. Boyfriend, if he tries to come up and attack either of them, he'd have to go through it and stand in it. It's kind of all she can do for now.
You're able to angle this moonbeam somewhat. You still think there's a chance that this bleeding, transformed cougar of a vampire might be able to angle toward Acrio. There's no real way around that on this stone bridge. But you're able to cut off Kraus somewhat.
Let's hope it's not.
When it comes to Amrita's turn, I'm gonna yell for her to throw him into the crevice.
Yeet!
Yeah.
Tristan's throwing metas back.
It would be an action to do that then, wouldn't it? Rather than just try to stab him and push him off.
Yeah, it would be a shove attempt, which would require an athletics check, which you would have disadvantage on because you are exhausted.
I'm not good at athletics, guys!
I'll do it on my turn then.
You can always try.
Oh, I'm proficient in athletics too, but I'm shit at it. That's bullshit. Ah.
Not the strongest character in the party.
You know what? I'm gonna just try anyway. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can fail.
Oh, if he
Almost.
got a nat one.
So close as you attempt to grab and shove him. He's so quick you almost don't even recognize that he's moved. If you tried to lunge forward, still holding your sword, he's just out of that place and then just pops up in your face, grinning.
Amrita lets out her own low growl at this point.
But as a legendary action, he will, right up in your face, try to jab his rapier into your gut. You are, however, quite quick as well, and step back, parry with the saber, and he is not able to connect, which you see a flicker of frustration on his face.
Yeah, Amrita's gonna just kind of smirk at him. I fought better vampires that actually knew how to kill pheasants and could actually hit.
Meanwhile, behind you, you hear this snarling cougar start to pace somewhat. It will also
Ooh,
Should've
I
been
think
cocky,
that brings
buddy.
it back to full.
not quite full, however, you see the wound seal on it is no longer bleeding, which is perhaps better as it then moves and will attempt to pounce at Acrio from behind with a claw attack.
Fucking Christ. What is with everybody rolling high against Acrio?
Not like they're vampires or anything. 11 slashing, and I need you to make a strength saving throw, DC 14. So as you're hit in the back with this massive black bird, almost like a panther, just ripping into your back, you're pushed forward onto the ground. You feel your face hit the front of your helmet, and being prone, it will attempt to make a bite as a bonus action. Does that get through the...
It does.
even the shield. Another 11 piercing damage as the teeth go for your throat like a vampire would and just start tearing at you. The pauldrons take most of it, but you can definitely feel your skin. He's bloodied at this point, I think.
He's critical.
Acrio is not looking good at all on the ground. Do you guys want Voltan to oh, he doesn't really even have anything that good.
Just do what the character would do. I don't know his motivations, and if he doesn't really care about his dying, then
Yeah,
I
so
presume
if he only cares,
He,
but if he does care because we need to get there, I assume he would try his best.
There are some things that I think the character would do that I'm not going to show you right now, but he will send Sigris in to attempt to use the help action on Kraus. Reluctantly, you can see the bird like cock its head toward him, and then like he's having to whisper, and the bird finally croaks and flies forward, being met just beneath it with this bolt that is going the same direction. Just momentarily distracted by Sigris, this bolt of energy connects.
Okay. Draw the second Argon. Close the distance. Yeah, and I'm going for just a single strike. Feint towards low and then try to stab upwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Taking the bolt, almost burning like a hole in his chest. Kraus is shocked by that, but because he had turned that direction, he sees your blading coming and quickly connects and twists your wrist away.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And as you see him do this, all of the Geist-like presences that you had tried to call on before start to appear on his face and all around him. Every victim you think he slaughtered just inundating you, and stumbling back, you are frightened of him until the end of your next turn.
Okay, that's not the worst.
I can just use this without hitting him, right?
Yeah, it's just a bonus action, so yeah, you're just targeting and assisting, yep.
Yeah, and I think the assisting is literally just the attention shift towards me. All right, that ends my turn. And I think when missing and sort of fighting with this vampire, there's definitely some sexual tension. Like the faces get really close to each other. Yeah.
When he twists the sword out of your hand and you feel that kind of that pain in your wrist, you just like grip the shaft of Argon a little bit harder.
Don't say it like that!
Okay. And that same sort of vacant expression comes across his face.
I'm so glad you did a spit
At the
take. I
end
was so
of
close.
it, he is going to use a legendary action to strike, but it's not going to be with his blade. Instead, it's his claws that you know, long fingernails just extending out like cat claws. He hits, but rather than doing any damage, he's going to grapple you, grabbing you by that scarf around your neck and just like pulling you in incredibly close. So you don't take any damage from that, but you are grappled.
Be gentle.
Stop saying words.
As Lorelei, you're
Cease speaking. I don't have a clear line of sight to the cougar from here, do I? To Mr. Mountain
not really.
Lion Man.
There's a lot of creatures blocking it. I mean, it's big, and you can see that it is goring and clawing at Acrio
Yeah.
on the ground. But visually, it's still blocked by
Yeah.
any
So, like
creatures.
for a guiding bolt, you probably have cover. I would have a hard time hitting him pretty well from that. Okay, no, that's fine. What I am going to do is I'm going to move the spiritual weapon sort of to try and maybe like draw its attention, move it behind it, and I'm going to smack it on the ass. just be like, you leave him alone.
Definitely smacked.
Oh, she's mad.
Yeah, that is a good little bit of force damage, as you can see the black mountain lion rear up and like arc its back as you swiped across it with this magical shovel.
And then in the tiniest like needle of sight that I can get on it, I will use Sacred Flame.
Okay.
And try and burn his ass. I know they're pretty dexy, but I don't want them to be healing right now.
They might
Kraus
have worse
or-
deaths.
Kraus or the cougar?
Cougar.
Uriel.
Yeah, Uriel.
All right.
Uriel.
He's not quite as quick as a in this form. Yeah,
Ooh, yes.
almost
It's only one
makes it,
radiant, but it's
yeah,
radiant.
because there's no cover benefit, you can weave this beam of light through all of your companions and strike this bestial form of Uriel the vampire, and yeah, he will take a point of radiant damage.
I like to think it's a bit weaker because she's like, she really doesn't want to hit any of her friends. So it's just like,
But it does
like a little
sizzle
crumb.
and does have effects as Acrio, desperate and prone in the midst of all of this.
The first time I've ever done this before, Acrio will disengage, like clamber to his knees, stand up, and then just back off. His shield like shaking and blood like spewing from his helmet as his back is just torn open.
As you move through the moonbeam shining down, you're almost blinded for a moment, and you feel the blood like coming down into your eyes, starting to sting a bit, and you hear the edge of this stone bridge, little gravel pebbles starting to fall, and you know you have to back off from that, or else you risk tipping off the edge, but you remain atop.
Yeah.
Rouse, did he take any radiant damage? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did, no.
Did you take any damage?
He took force damage from the, which is interesting because while Voltan seems to be doing something similar to a Sacred Flame, it doesn't seem to have quite the same effect as an actual Sacred Flame, in that doesn't affect a vampire's ability to regenerate back to full. As he just grins, leaning in, everything kind of slows down for Amrita as you're trying to swipe at him. He just knocks you back as his jaws go wide toward Cillian, whom he has grappled.
Hey.
What does Cillian do to prevent this? If indeed he would even try to prevent it.
Don't
That's
say
up to
jokes
you.
on you, I'm into that shit.
I mean, kinda.
He would not hit if you don't want him to. That's the way I'm going to rule this.
Sure. I'm gonna let him hit. And I'm gonna say, mine's enough.
As the fangs go into your throat, piercing, you can feel the blood start to drain down that Vistani scarf that your mother had made, and you can feel his tongue on there trying to suck up as much of the blood as possible. You are going to take 6 points of piercing, 8 points of necrotic damage, and your hit point maximum is going to be reduced by 8. As he leans back and you see him just licking his lips, looking at Amrita. Cillian, you start to see all of these Geist-like faces flicker away. And his expression is a little bit more calm as he continues to hold his rapier in a defensive position, but he says, "That's all I ever wanted." And it's up to you guys if you want to continue. Asuriel, you're up. You can see the blood starting to drip down his chin and onto his chest.
Yeah, Sarah didn't see a point in fighting them in the first place, and if she sees they're just gonna stop and especially not hurt Acrio, she'll run over to him and cast a Cure Wounds.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I am no longer critical.
Still keeping the moonbeam up, just like in case they do try to attack these two again.
Kraus will pivot to Amrita on the edge of this rock bridge and just, with bloodied lips.
That's all you wanted, then you can let him go.
You would see his clawed, pale, vampiric hand just release.
Just in case, like, she's not gonna attack, but she just like motions and like puts her sword like just in between Cillian and this vampire so he could like move back.
Almost placing the saber across Cillian's chest. You can see he's a bit woozy for a moment, kind of like tips forward slightly. At the end of your turn, Kraus will use legendary action to move in blinding speed. Suddenly appears as though he's sitting on the back of this black puma. You can see him kind of like adjust his hips to the frame of it. It's not a horse, but being Uriel's turn next, they will back up somewhat and clear the way for you to move.
Acrio kind of runs his hand along his bloody shield and drops his spell.
I shake off the frightened I got from the natural one, and probably only Amrita, maybe Acrio, but I presume he's a little preoccupied, can see some of the his hand fill back in from where it disappeared.
Hey. All right.
Well, you're in luck. I'm okay. I'm okay, don't worry. You're in luck. You chose the most delicious one of us.
A delicacy, I assure you. Sigris, who had been flying in that space, actually like lands on your shoulder, Cillian.
Mister's gonna try and listen to him.
Doesn't seem to be saying anything, but yeah, Kraus will resheathe his blade. You see him kind of like smear some of the blood off of his chest up with his fingers. Fly now, little pheasants.
I hope you can forgive our aggression. We're a bit on edge.
It's exhilarating.
Are you alright, Acrio?
He's just kind of grabbed his horse and walking off with it. Walking on foot.
Lolo's going to get on a mule and tail Acrio quite closely.
We're just gonna wait till Asuriel and Cillian have both gotten on the steeds and everything, but she doesn't take the flame out or anything, but just stares at them down.
Something tells me our paths will cross again. Let's hope it's on better terms.
A Cathar with a hammer that size and balls to match, a face like yours, pale girl with a blue cloak. Not a description I'm unfamiliar with already, but I'll keep it in mind.
Oh no.
We presumed. Till next time.
Gives like small bow on the back of the black mountain lion as he then just like digs his heels into Uriel and lurches forward and they make their way off.
He needs to treat his boyfriend better. That's mean.
No. They have aftercare later on.
Oh, sure. Maybe he's into it.
Does he have a cream for his back? That looks really painful.
Got some kind of cream. And then like, I shouldn't have said that. I didn't say that. No one heard that. No one heard a word.
What kind of cream do you think they use?
At that question, Lorelei's gonna turn and look at Cillian and just be like, we're not telling her any of this, ever. Ever. Do not explain any of that to her. If she ever asks any kind of question.
Best in the business for that particular conversation.
Wait, what?
I mean, probably. You probably have the most experience, but that's why I precisely do not want you telling her about it.
I mean, me and Andre talked about it quite a bit.
Weird. Anyway. She's gonna...
Why are you guys always so cryptic?
All right, the two of you just look. You and Acrio need to patch that stuff up. That was a fucking mess.
Yeah, Acrio, come here. Let me patch you up a bit more.
Who's an angry boy? And I sort of massage his shoulders.
He got torn pretty hard in the shoulder by your.
No! Yeah, don't
that hurts really bad.
Oh. Okay, sure.
Just kill him, but just like wrench it off.
Well, fuck. Sorry, I was just trying to keep the mood up.
As you pull your hand away, blood comes off your palm, Cillian.
Yeah, Acrio, let me
Fix
handle
him.
this.
No.
Yeah, yes. And I will cure wounds.
Please.
Acrio. They were almost about to let us pass. You should just let me do that.
Why would I let them just feed on us like we're livestock?
Because they let us pass. And don't rip into you like that. It's not favorable, yes, but if it gets us there in one piece, that's all we need. Come here. And she's gonna gently put a hand on his wounds and cure them. How rough are you looking?
11 HP rough.
11 HP rough. That sounds like a level 2 cure wounds kind of day. That's you get back to 22.
That's good.
Yeah, riding on the horse with Asuriel. Asuriel can like see that, like probably notice Amrita's tapping like one of her feet, just like very anxiously and everything, and she's gonna like speak mentally with the eye and everything, like, listen, you can speak to me and clearly speak to the other half. Can you just please tell me the other half just wants to chill the fuck out, because I can't deal with this right now.
Other half. Explain.
The wolf, you idiot. Whatever the fuck you are.
We are not halves. We are a whole. Why do you think your flesh so tough as the wolves? We bridge the gap. We make one, we three. The woman, the wolf, and me.
Ooh, just shut the fuck up. And she like almost says that like a little bit out loud in front of Asuriel, just like freaking fiddling at her head.
I'm already not saying anything. Why do you keep attacking me?
No, not that. There was a bug.
Bug?
Yes,
I
a bug
see
that
bug.
flew into my face, buzzing near my ear. I told it to shut up.
I don't think it's
Cillian.
gonna work.
Cillian, are you good? Do you need healing?
Woozy. It could.
Was he like
I just-
imminently about to pass out, or was he? You can probably shake it off.
No, I can shake it off.
Okay.
I'll be fine.
Be honest. Don't.
I am. I just don't think healing is gonna do. I don't know how aware I would be of maximum hit points dropping, but
Yeah, you're not really sure how that works mechanically. You just know you feel lightheaded, and
yeah.
one of the other odd effects of vampiric bites is blood flow is directed somewhere else for a time.
You're shitting me.
You have a bobbing.
Now remember
erect-
Lorelei had the weird sex dreams for a time after she was
yeah,
bitten.
but like.
It has biological effects.
Oh God. Not visible, I hope.
Depends where you're looking.
Oh no. You know what? You're nominated as a pack horse, and I'm just gonna throw our bags into Cillian's lap.
What?
Wait,
Oh,
before
fuck,
Cereal
I'm
sees.
sorry.
For Asuriel steeds, fuck's sake. Pull it together.
I mean, they were hot. You can't deny that.
Yes, but still.
Okay, fine. I'll just... No, I'm not going to say anything. I was going to say I'll ride in the back, but everything sounds wrong right now.
When we're getting to Braylett, you're having a cold shower.
We use it.
Yeah, and Acrio makes the rest of the trip on foot.
You are still several days away, but you can finish out the rest of this day. I'll say you can get a couple short rests in. Any hit dice you need to utilize over that time, feel free.
So then I'll
Do you
just
guys
remain
think
at
we're
2
gonna
then.
get a long rest in Braylett?
Probably not.
I'm doubtful.
Ooh, that's bad.
Well, we can't fight a literal demon without a rest, so...
We're gonna
Can't
have to
fight.
hope. Ideally, if we can take a long rest, I can swap out one of my spells and get Purify Food and Drink, and maybe help stave off some of whatever's in the water.
It's in the piss!
It will be if
do
it's in
my-
the water.
Hit points return after nights, or just going to be after...
Not after a
the
short
long
rest, no.
Okay.
So yeah, over the next few days, Cillian still feels weak, bit of a headache, but not the dizziness passes and you feel like you're more in, normal control. There's just like behind your eyes that little headache that forms, especially during the daylight hours.
I diagnosed you with horny.
Who's got the horny stick? Who's got the bonk stick?
I just want to mention, so they definitely know who we are.
Sounded like it.
We're a band of colorful assholes killing anything in our path all across Stensia. Who wouldn't know who we are?
I
We are
mean,
pretty colorful.
Lorelei and I have both known the whatever Williams family's name was. We've known
Well-
that other
Yeah, we know the Falcon Earth, kind of.
yes.
Some of
We
them.
have for a while, so
And they're
I'm not
Voldaren.
surprised it's come around like that. So
I mean, wasn't Pierce Voldaren? I think we did get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did
that's
get
what I
word
wanted
that-
to discuss, because they didn't seem that angry.
no, but the swords, they were similar to the weapon that Pierce had. Similar
means-
craftsmanship.
Either they have a plan for us, and we're stumbling into that, or they didn't give a fuck about Pierce, which might be. I mean, there could be a reason he's away from them. He was away from them.
Possibly.
Perhaps.
Well, based on that letter, they said there was a spy in town, and that was Pierce.
Maybe if they figured out he died, maybe they were like, probably wasn't worth shit anyway.
It red ends.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad, but I'm not sad about it.
All we can do is hope that they continue to think very little of us.
Yeah.
The
The fact
the
that we
more they
lost here
underestimate us, the
might
better.
be in. Yeah, exactly. Might be in our benefits.
If they think we're a problem, they'll snuff us out. If they think we're just entertaining, they might just let us continue.
Right on.
Also, Zuriel would try giving the raven trinkets that are shiny and try and get it to talk again.
We'll get to that.
Oh no.
But after the next couple days, evening approaches in this wide valley. You've passed that stench of the far bog to what would be your left, the east, as you're kind of traveling south to Braylett, is the mountain range where Acrio, you're aware the dormant volcano known as the Ashmouth is located. All of this superstition around it, and yet you had traveled into that same mountain range without issue as a child, so it doesn't daunt you as much as perhaps the others, the idea that there may be demons located in that region. But the flat plains, you can see green sprouts starting to come up from the earth, tilled rows and signs of more human activity in this area. There are people out with plows, tethered to bovines that are tearing up the earth with plowing blades. In the daylight hours, before everyone returns to the city, you can spy the occupants of the town of Braylet. And in the distance, the town itself, this creek that flows down from the mountains that then kind of splits going around the town, having been built almost not exactly on an island, but a man-created one, as they had dug it to make water flow around each side. There's a small group of people with this, what looks like a chicken coop, and chickens and guineas around. Small girl that looks like has this pail that she's like throwing feed at them, trying to get all of the little birds to come up around her, while a figure on horseback sees you. Doesn't appear to be a Cathar, although there are what seem to be town militia posted in the area. She doesn't appear to be one of them. She has a long, lighter brownish blonde braid vest and a blue scarf, wide hat, as she sees your group and gallops toward you. Acrio on foot, leading his mule at this point with all of his supplies, still less bloodied but certainly beaten. Your mother looks down on you, just a flicker of a smile before you see her turn and spit tobacco off in another direction. And welcome back, Greenhorn. And that's where we're going to end this week's session.
It's your mom.
The triumphant son returns.
Acrio
Oh.